Yo, what's going on, guys? Bexio back, and today we've got Bitcoin news, lots of it. A lot of things happening, a lot of news, different companies announcing earnings, talking about Bitcoin. But first, we'll jump straight into looking at the price action here. This is the daily chart, and the most important thing to see right here is this bottom didn't get affected from this most recent downward trend, this most recent downturn. We didn't go below 28,805. We stayed above 29,000 actually to get back up here. And now this level, 32,330 around there is what this line is. This obviously the first major resistance to get above, but the biggest one is going to be right here, 33,385 to about 33,500, 33,600. That'll be a good sign short term for like more bullish action and stuff. But the short term stuff, all of this price action, TA thing, constantly going to say it, not really mattering. When you get into Bitcoin, you should be thinking towards the long term, what Bitcoin can do, like what it's going to change the world and things like that, and not worry about day to day price action, month to month price action. Like, think about Bitcoin, like, you could look at the price every year, like every 4 years. People have never lost Bitcoin who held it for at least 4 years. That's just a fact, and that's something that a lot of people should get into their mind is the hodling mindset over this trading. There's someone on TikTok who just said he sold all of his Bitcoin at this level right here, like the 29,300. He sold all of his Bitcoin, and he could have very likely sold the bottom, and that's not what you want to do. You don't want to risk all of your Bitcoin to try and make a couple more percent. That it just doesn't make sense. But we've got quite a bit of news for Bitcoin, and we will start with the Tesla news right here. Breaking: Tesla acquires 300,000 M2 plot of land in Nevada to be utilized as the world's largest solar Bitcoin mining farm, Black House. Now, I don't exactly know how, truthful this is, or how, if it's actually happening, or all of that stuff. I've tried to look into this more and find like articles being talked about and things, and I can't find it. So who knows if this is just a rumor or whatnot. But if this is to happen, and I think it could be a very viable thing that happens, is Tesla mining Bitcoin through solar power and getting like their energy like situation, all that situated. But who knows how exactly truthful this is, or if it's just rumors or thoughts. But moving on from that, we've got another big story is right here. Is during Twitter's Q2 earnings call, Jack said Bitcoin will be a big part of Twitter's future. Also mentioned that investing in decentralizing social media will be hugely important. So what does this mean? Integrating Bitcoin with Twitter, maybe even using like the Lightning Network, where you can use it to tip people on tweets or send money between people just on Twitter and make like its own ecosystem there. That'd be very interesting to see, to say the least. But even with this too, you see Jack wants Bitcoin to be the currency of Twitter. I think that's very possible that he wants that, and can end up having that happen, where Bitcoin is just something where people send money and stuff through Twitter. If you want to send someone money or do some sort of transaction through Twitter, you can just use Bitcoin, and you don't have to worry about them not having the money or doing something weird or checks bouncing or all these problems that come with like dealing with people on the internet. You can just pay in Bitcoin, and there's no question whether it's real Bitcoin or if you even have the Bitcoin, because if you send it, you have it. So it could fix maybe a lot of things for this like online ecosystem of things, where you don't have to trust someone that they have the money, or that it's good, or their check's not going to bounce. You can just get the Bitcoin, and then there you go. So it'll improve e-commerce, I think. And another big like institutional move or like investment into Bitcoin would be this right here, where you can see Amazon's looking for a digital currency and blockchain product lead. So then we believe in the future will be built on new technologies that enable modern, fast, and inexpensive payments, and hope to bring that future to Amazon customers as soon as possible. So Amazon could be starting to accept payments in Bitcoin. That would be absolutely massive. That's been a rumor flying around for a long time, that Amazon to start using Bitcoin. And if they do, would be a big catalyst for Bitcoin. Obviously says if Amazon begins to facilitate payments in Bitcoin, it would be sure to introduce millions of users to the immutable distributed ledger technology, greatly hastening adoption and bringing us closer to a Bitcoin standard. So, the Bitcoin standard could be closer than anybody believes, because if Amazon starts allowing payments in Bitcoin and they start to want people to pay in Bitcoin and use that for fast, easy payments, then I think that it'll be a big move for a lot of people to get involved in the Bitcoin network. Obviously, and also it would enable Amazon to sell anywhere in the globe and not have to worry about dollar, pound, euro, yen, all of these different currencies and how they're going to interact and all of this stuff. It would just be one currency for the entire globe, Bitcoin, and someone in the US can pay in Bitcoin, in Europe can pay in Bitcoin, in China can pay in Bitcoin. Anywhere in the world you can pay in Bitcoin, and there'll be no question about it whether or not that it's real or it's fraudulent stuff. It's harder to do fraud on Bitcoin than it is to do fraud on like a credit card or a debit card, where you can just get someone's information and send that. It'd be a lot harder to do fraud through Bitcoin, so they'd protect themselves through that. There's a lot of fees that come with accepting these credit cards and debit cards and stuff, so they'd save on that. It'd be a good move for Amazon. It'd be a great move for Bitcoin, where we would see people start getting involved in the network and start using it, and maybe they utilize Lightning so that you don't even need to worry about the fees that everyone talks about, and then you just solve a bunch of problems with one. And Amazon accepting Bitcoin could be one of the bigger catalysts to really start sending a Bitcoin standard forward. And we got Michael Saylor here talking about many institutions want to invest in Bitcoin miners instead of Bitcoin itself, because of they prefer to hold securities. You can see that many institutional investors find publicly traded Bitcoin miners to be attractive investments because they want Bitcoin exposure, but prefer to hold securities rather than property due to tax, accounting, and business considerations. It makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of weird rules with holding Bitcoin on a balance sheet, where if it goes up in value, you can't say like you have more money, but if it goes down in value, then you say you lost money. It's really weird. I think those will be things that have to be ironed out for a lot of companies for these bigger companies to get involved, like Apple, Facebook, Microsoft. These companies, they don't want to write off losses and not be able to write on gains, so it wouldn't make a lot of sense for them. But it's just a pension invested $7 million into Riot and Mara stocks, so people still getting Bitcoin exposure, even if it's not through Bitcoin itself. It'll be through these miners or companies that hold lots of Bitcoin, like MicroStrategies or Tesla, even Square. And then as well as you can have individual levels getting in on Bitcoin as well. So there's a lot of ways to get yourself exposure to Bitcoin if you don't want Bitcoin exactly, or to be responsible for your own Bitcoin. You can buy these companies that hold Bitcoin, and they are your indirect exposure, or just the mining companies. If you think Bitcoin is an exploding industry, just the mining companies as well are just exposure to this entire industry. So Bitcoin in many ways can find its way into people's investment funds, pensions, portfolios, all of these different things. It can get in there without needing to be Bitcoin itself. And finally, we have Blockworks talk here, bringing up institutional clients and stuff that we saw a year ago. There were 25 institutional clients. Today, we have 280. That's NYDIG talking about that. So recorded in February, so it's a little older, and we've seen institution adoption going up and up. So I bet there's even more than 280, much more than 280. And we're seeing these numbers just completely climb. Interest continues to go off the chart. People want Bitcoin. They want exposure. Institutions want Bitcoin. And it's just the adoption continues to grow and continues to take off. So we'll see where all of this goes. And it just seems like the adoption fundamentals are there. So if you're trading Bitcoin based on a day-to-day price, then I would say you're doing it wrong, because Bitcoin's this asset where, I mean, it's annualized 200% returns a year. So why would you risk that 200% returns and for an extra to day trade and stuff to maybe get an X to turn that 200 into 210%? Or if you get it wrong, you turn that 200 into 10%. So it's just not worth it trading Bitcoin, when, especially now, with the risk is very low, with all the institutions getting in, adoption taking off, fundamentals are great. There's just a lot of good things to think about Bitcoin for what the future of it holds. Well, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Basically, a lot of news on Bitcoin, a lot of companies talking about Bitcoin, and adoption continues to grow. But as always, guys, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. See you guys in my next video.